24. Hello, welcome back to Sage and Stone Homestead. My name is Heather. We're going to start off this weekly vlog with a rabbit recipe. I get a lot of requests of people wanting to know how to cook rabbit, and really the short answer is you want to use it like chicken, but you can't exactly cook it like chicken. So I have my oven preheating to 325 degrees, and I'm going to plan to cook this rabbit for at least an hour. A lot of times when you have the rabbit bone in, it needs a little bit longer than that. What I'm working with today is actually the belly roll, and I talked about this cut on another video a couple months back, but essentially it's like the back strap of the rabbit rolled in with like the belly flap. It's the closest thing to a chicken breast that you can get on a rabbit. So we're gonna pre-cook this and then cut it up and combine it with some broccoli for some rabbit divan. What I'm gonna do is just take my individual belly roll pieces, lay them in the pan. One of the more important things when it comes to cooking rabbit, besides cooking it low and slow, is you also want to cook it in a more moist environment. So normally you'll see me kind of patting the meat dry. I'm not going to really worry about that right now. I would if I was trying to sear the meat, but we're not going to do that tonight. Got some bone broth here that I'm going to add to the bottom of the pan, maybe a cup or so. Nope, can't do it. Some little bits of goat fat falling in there, that's fine. Rabbit is a very lean meat and it could use a little extra fat. Gonna throw some farm dust on top. This is what it looks like right now. And we're just gonna cover this to keep moisture in and cook for about an hour. I think the high today is 72. It's kind of crazy. There's ladybugs absolutely everywhere and wasps still. November 6th is today. All right, gotta harvest the broccoli. Look how big this head is, you guys. Oh, I'm so proud of it. Isn't that lovely? This is the head we're gonna take. I don't want to snap the whole plant off because this broccoli will put out side shoots, and it puts out quite a lot of them. And I think I may harvest 2 heads of broccoli, but I was thinking about only harvesting 1 so that our broccoli harvest can stretch a little bit more into the fall and winter. With something like chicken divan or rabbit divan, you can get away with that. It's more like a casserole instead of the broccoli being like a dedicated side. You can serve a little bit less and still get away with it. We may not have leftovers, but that's okay. I'm bad at serving leftovers anyway. Woo, should have had a knife, but that's okay. Snapped it off. Look at that. Oh, it's like a bouquet. If Levi and I ever renew our vows, this is what I'm gonna walk down the aisle with. I swear, I will do it. Oh, looky there. I just noticed these plants looked a little less healthy. They've got these crispy leaves on the bottom, and it looked like dust, but it does appear that there's aphids in this bed. Oh, that plant looks okay. Oh yeah, so you've got some aphids. I do see some of those, you know, ladybugs in here. I think they're the Japanese lady beetles. I don't know if they eat aphids like ladybugs do, but maybe they do. In a couple of days, we are getting a freeze that I think will probably kill some of the frost tender things that are in here. The daytime high is 39 and the low is 25. So I really don't think the greenhouse is gonna survive that. The broccoli will, and it'll kill the aphids, but I think it's gonna kill the stuff in the center here too, so. Feral! Feral! You're not feral, but you'll do. Do you want one? Feral, I got a snack! He's way over there. I don't want to give them too much. Brassicas are a bit gassy. I know, you like the leafy part. Mm. Big boy. You better get it. Everyone else likes it. Come here. Oh, what a turd. Here, honey. You eat it. No. You can detect that it touched the ground, can't you? All right, well, I'm just gonna throw it in there, okay? Y'all can fight over it. Now the first thing I did here was add a whole diced onion to the pot in some bacon fat. This isn't really part of the recipe, but I have a lot of onions, and of course onions add a great flavor and some nutrition. The recipe calls for frozen broccoli, I believe. Of course we have fresh broccoli, and I don't want it to have necessarily that raw broccoli bite, so I do want to saute this in the pan as well. It's just going to help soften it up so that when it cooks later we get the right texture. One of my favorite ways to thicken up a sauce in anything that I'm making is to add flour to whatever I have already sauteed up or to whatever oil is already in the pan. Let that toast down a little bit and then add some bone broth. That's the case here. And I did also add a splash of milk later and some curry powder. Everything is getting thick and bubbly like a gravy. And now it's time to chop up the rabbit. Now the rabbit is fully cooked at this point, and it's just going to really take on those flavors that are in the pot with the onions and the broccoli as everything cooks down in the oven. I almost forgot to put in the cheese. So I think that really any number of cheeses would do well in this recipe. I happen to have a Colby here that I used. A generous cup of cheese, maybe a little bit more. I really think that Parmesan would be a good cheese in this as well. Add some breadcrumbs. I added too many, but that's okay. It's stirred in fine later. And a good drizzle of melted butter over top. Pop it in the oven.
What's going to happen is you're going to want to time it just right. We want the chocolate in the mold.
Well, good morning. Got my trusty helper today. So I'm going to do something controversial, and we'll talk about it. No. Squirmy. You're all right. Yeah. He's been a bad boy. Yes, he has. He's huge. Look at him. Oh my gosh. If you've been following the channel, you know that President Snow and Kato are not that old. They are actually 4.5 weeks old, I believe. I've been sitting down here with the goats and with the babies, trying to keep the babies nice and tame, and I noticed yesterday, within 10 minutes, Kato was able to unsheath his manhood and do what bucks do with it. And I have heard, my mentor puts it, where there's a willy, there's a way. Basically, if they can extend, they can breed. And he's a big boy. I have some Nigis in here that kidded about a month or so ago, and they can go back into heat that early. I don't want any accidental breeding, and so we banded him a little early. Now, I have done this before. I didn't put it on the channel, and I would really only probably do it to an animal that was destined to the freezer, that didn't really have an expectation of a long life. The risk that you run with banding earlier than about 8 weeks is that it can cause some scar tissue kind of close to their urethra, and that can help promote urinary calculi. So what we do to prevent urinary calculi right now is feed a high quality goat feed that does contain ammonium chloride, and it has a 2-to-1 calcium to phosphorus ratio. And the only time that I have seen urinary calculi was in an intact buck who was fed the wrong feed. It had too much phosphorus. It had a lot of corn in it. They're laying down in the kid pile now. They're gonna be laying around for probably the rest of the day, but the area will go numb pretty quickly, and then they shouldn't be problematic anymore. The other buckling that I did banned this early was Christine's buck from a couple years ago. We named him Buckwheat. Buckwheat was also really big and also was problematic before an age that you really think that they should be. Now, there's a chance that they were just too young to even have any active sperm, but still, it's not something that I'm willing to risk. These guys are destined for the freezer in a year anyway, and so I'm not worried about it. Now, I will say, I texted my mentor yesterday just to get a little bit of advice, and she said that she was speaking to a second-generation goat breeder who has banded their goats at 3 weeks for the last 39 years, and they've only had 1 case of urinary calculi, so gave me some more peace of mind about the decision that I was making. Really, it was just Cato that was the big problem. I didn't notice anything with President Snow, but while I had the bander out, I decided to do him as well. See, something's up. He can tell. He really doesn't like us right now, but he'll be okay. Yes, you'll be okay, and you get to stay with Mama longer. There's a good chance that, hi Francie, look at her. There's a good chance that when they turn 8 weeks, I'm going to be removing them anyway, just because that's the point where I'd really like to be milking Margie full time. I just milked this morning and we're only getting about 6 cups every 2 days, because that's the frequency that I'm milking, only every 2 days, and that's not that much. Really, in order to make the things that I want to make this time of year and have enough milk for fresh drinking, I like to get about a ½ gallon every day. So we're well below that right now, so we're kind of scraping by. Our first goats that were born was Cato and President Snow, and they turned 8 weeks November 30th, so I can see the light, but I don't want them breeding in the meantime. We are going to be getting some weather today, so I have fed inside the barn. I saw you really had to catch her. Yeah, hi, girl.
She's crazy.
You're gonna do better with time, huh? She said absolutely not. So I'm gonna shut a couple things in preparation for some wind. There we go. They can still get out, but it will stop a whole lot of rain and wind coming in here. Chloe's half door is already shut. I do need to give her some extra hay to bed down with, because with this weather is coming a decent cold snap. I think we talked about that yesterday. Chloe's been fine thus far, but she's definitely gonna need some bedding. These two in here, it's a little bit hard to see them, but we still have Chip and Flip, and I've shut their door, so they're dry lotted for the storm. Our meat rabbits all got their nest boxes because they're due at the beginning of next week, which is incredibly exciting. The last couple of years we've had a hard year with getting our rabbits to breed at all. This year it's worked out really well. I did put the bunnies on a bit of a diet over summer, so I think they were basically just too fat. Beryl! Here, you want a snack? Yeah. Whoops! Okay, go get indoors. One of the things that I am worried about with the upcoming weather are my tromboncino squash. I really wanted to get most of these to maturity, and it looks like a couple of them are kind of starting to turn orange, but they still have really soft skin. So what we might have to do is pick them early, or we could take the risk and leave them on. I don't know if I really want to take that risk. Picking them early just means that they taste more like a zucchini and less like a butternut, and that's fine, but I really wanted the more mature tromboncino, and I thought we were gonna get it because we had such a warm fall, but I don't know. This is still good food though. Oh yeah, by the way, remember that frost we got? Didn't seem to really affect anything in the front garden. Look at all these tomatoes. They're so crazy. Now, one thing I would like to do is take off all the luffa that I can. Some of them are brown, which is good for collecting seed, but I really prefer to process the luffa while they're green. These ones I'll get seeds out of, and I can also use the sponges. They're just a little dingy and you've got to do extra stuff to make them a nice color. These guys, they stay nice and bright white without anything extra. So that's what I want to process. that volunteered. As far as I know, maybe a second one volunteered, I didn't notice. Pretty sure it's just the one though. Good morning. It's actually the first day of rifle season and Levi did get a deer and I'm out here trying to find my cart. The kids were playing with it. He needs help, I think. It's a gorgeous foggy morning out. I'm glad he got one.
And I swore I missed because he bolted. Sat there for a minute, climbed down, hopped the fence after him right where he did. Saw nothing. No fur, no blood, no scuffle, nothing. 50 yards away he fell, maybe? Like the tree stands in the middle.
Yeah.
And he fell right on the corner of the property back there. Squishy.
I have to locate the greenhouse tape,
Okay,
so I'll be a bit.
me too.
Here comes the cold, you guys. What sucks is that we're getting this cold snap for only a couple of days, and then we're gonna go right back into being warm again. And so, man, I wish we could just pick one, kind of stay there for a while, like pick a season. Now I did just organize this space. I know it doesn't look like it, but it looks better than it did. Problem is, since I have organized this area, this is our homestead overflow shed, I've lost quite a few things. And so that sometimes is why things remain chaotic, because I know where stuff is, and when I clean up, I no longer know where stuff is. Now I'm looking for the greenhouse tape. We do have the hide from the deer in here. I am trying a new tanning method. It's new to me. This is the alum tan, and I haven't stirred it yet today. I'm supposed to stir this twice a day, so I guess we'll get to that first, and then we will be trying to find the greenhouse tape. That's the logical spot for it, which is why I couldn't find it, is in the greenhouse. This isn't a whole lot, but I've got some other tapes that I can use for the differing projects that I need to do on the greenhouse today. So over here I have an area that I have repaired in the past. I have talked about doing the actual repair that this greenhouse needs, but I haven't done it yet. So on the side wall here, the big long 40-foot section is made up of smaller pipes, and this particular pipe, the screw that holds it together and stops it from pivoting, it busted a long time ago. Really, I have to do very little raising and lowering of the sides, especially with the fans that we have in the greenhouse now. It really helps keep things circulating and the temperature a lot more stable. But when I have had to raise and lower the sides, that just kind of eats away at it because it essentially pinches the side on its way up and down. So this is a repair that I've done in the past. I'm gonna do it again. And we'll see when I end up actually repairing the sidewall. I don't know, but we gotta do this for now. I wanted to change or replace this plastic on the greenhouse this year, but we had some vehicle repairs that took all of that excess funding, and so I don't have it in me right now. Alright, so we're gonna go follow Levi because he's working on covering this fan that I have here. You can see that it's got some louver action going on. I did lose the top flap there, and obviously that's a spot where warm air can get out, so he's got some insulation board we're gonna tape up there. I actually thought that was more inset than it is. You pulled out the fancy tape, huh?
It's just the tape I found real quick. It's amazing I knew where it was. Should be plenty of surface area to hold it.
Okay, thank you. This particular vent is broken. It's supposed to only open when it's a certain temperature in there. But yeah, I don't know. You might have to tape the whole thing the way it looks. Pharaoh's trying to eat you. Rude. So rude. He says, your lack of snacks is rude, lady. There, this one's good. It's dandelion. Yeah. There we go. Alright, so I've turned the water on, which is going to irrigate the beds. And the water in the beds will actually help retain heat in the greenhouse. Kind of acts like a thermal battery, so we'll see how well it works. I still have one rip to repair here. Looks like there's another one down there, and I'm going to tape all these flaps over to help seal things up the best I can. Buttoned up. Look at all the meat bunnies. Are you guys getting a little bit warmer in your beds? In your nests? Jumper just hopped out as if she wasn't in there. She was. Looks like you've eaten basically all of your nesting material. We'll fix that. Alright, so this is what we're working with. It is significantly warmer inside. That wind chill is something else, for sure. So here's Chloe's bed. Some of this hay that was in that barn was moldy, and as we kept burning it, I realized that not all of it was. It's still older than I really want to feed out to my goats, but it's perfect nesting material for Chloe and for the chickens. We had some lovely members send us more scratchers, and we're going to give one to Chloe because I think she's going to love it. There we go. Chloe's well distracted with her food, so I don't think she'll be in here anytime soon to check any of this out, but we will see her scratch on that and make her bed very soon. Okay, so it's been a few. I've got my chores done. I have just milked. And I do have these new waterers that I really like, but these are not gonna work well in a freezing situation. Tonight, the temperature's getting down to 27, and really here in the barn, it's probably not gonna freeze. So ordinarily, I really wouldn't worry about a bucket or water trough in the barn because it's gonna be a lot warmer in here. Problem being, that thing is fed by this freeze-free hydrant, and a freeze-free hydrant only works well if, when it's freezing, you keep the water below ground by shutting the spigot off. Right now, with this on, that's how it automatically feeds those waters in there, and so there's water sitting in this pipe, you know, just waiting to feed that waterer, and that will freeze. And that's probably not good for it. So before it freezes tonight, I'll come and do my evening check. I'll probably throw some more hay. I'll shut that and drain those waters, at least for the next couple of days. Like I said, it's gonna warm back up, and I really prefer this system. But in the meantime, I've taken one of our heated buckets and plugged it in over here. So it is really high off the ground. The baby Nigis can't get in here unless they wanted to be real creative, which I guess could happen. But they're big enough and strong enough now to be able to get out, so I'm not super worried about that. This should be good for now. It's not low enough for the baby Nigis to drink out of, but that's fine because they still are on their mama. So they're getting plenty of liquid through mama's milk. I haven't been separating the babies at all. You're so sweet. I'm gonna miss you. Yes, I am. I'm gonna miss you. You're such an angel. As you can see, President Snow and Kato are doing just fine. You'd never know that they were banded. It's a little bit hard to see Chloe. Chloe! Girl, where are you? She's in there. Chloe girl, can we see you? Chloe, can I see your face? Nah. She's cozy. So as you can see, Chloe's got a heated water as well. So she's all set for the cold. One last thing I think I'd like to do to prepare for the cold is open up these pitting stalls. When it's real cold, the goats like to come down in here and all cuddle up together, and so I want to make sure that they've got access to the warmest parts of the barn. This isn't going to be the most cold time ever, but you know, just getting ready for winter. There we go. Fully open and ready for them when they want it. Good morning, handsome. Oh, it's snowing. It's definitely hard to see, but it's barely spitting snow. So I wanted to make sure I showed it to you guys. First snow of the year. It's decently cold out. We are gonna maintain a good breeze from the north today, so it's gonna be cold. Greenhouse is all closed up. Looks like we have kits in here. And you're doing a lot more today, huh? The meat rabbits are building nice nests. Jumper's got a good one. Cedo has a good one. Dumpling is not gonna let us see. And Babs is working on her nest. Oh, she's at least pulled hair. Oh man. There's one cold baby in here. Oh, there's more than one cold baby. 2 cold babies. It's really not super cold out as far as rabbit standards go. But a small litter of only 2 isn't really able to create enough heat to maintain heat. There's just not enough of them to really do much. So I have been able to bring back babies before by warming them up, but I have no idea how long they've been gone. Sad, but thank goodness we got a lot of them bred. I have heard that if their feet are purple, they're not coming back. So we'll try anyway. I put them in my shirt. Super cold. Good morning. Good morning, girls. How you doing? Oh, everybody's good in here. How's it going, Rodeo? There's goats out at the hay feeder. 4 babies out here munching on hay. Little Rodeo. That's Spunky. And Nyx is right behind Stormy. Hi, girl. It's cold out this morning, huh? Are you cold? Not really. Everybody looks good in here. I did drain their water last night. I do need to put a little bit more in there. I don't think the Nigis could really reach their head that far down to get any water. Oh, Nobody's home in Chloe's world. There's Chloe. She's definitely got frozen water here, but she's got her heated water inside. She's not cold. She's one of the ones that I was worried about the most. She's fine. We've already taken Chloe through a winter before. This watering can I filled up yesterday and stuck in here. There is the tiniest little skin of ice on the top, but it's warmer in here for sure. Good morning, sir. How are you? You're nice and cozy, huh? Were you in the barn last night? I got it. Yes, let's go. We've set up this contraption so the dog can't get in at the cat food. I believe it's the taurine in cat food that's not good for dogs in high amounts. Hang on, I didn't put the good stuff in it yet. Shika went to go get me a fork, okay? Are you excited? Now it's only been about an hour since I originally came out, and now we've got gorgeous sun. Now this is pretty much what I expected today, since the low was only about 29 last night or this morning. And the greenhouse can handle that, especially when I water the day prior, or especially if it's sunny the day prior. Tonight the low is 24. And that's kind of pushing it. But I am very encouraged by the fact that we do have sunlight today. That's really gonna help, because I watered yesterday. The beds are moist, the ground is kind of moist, and that moisture, that water in the beds is really gonna hold the sun's energy and hopefully carry this bed through another night. Now I considered harvesting as much as I could in the greenhouse today, just so if something bad happens, like a freeze, I don't essentially lose what I've got going on here. But really, right after this cold snap, it just warms up again. So I know that there's the opportunity for these tromboncino squash to get to their full maturity, which is really what I grew them for. And if I were to harvest them now, what I'd be doing with most of them is just dicing them and freezing them and potentially freeze drying them. And the way that the freeze dryer works, it'll freeze things before it dries them, freeze dryer. And so if these happen to freeze overnight, I'm just one step ahead, right? And so here's my thinking. Let's say it does get super cold in here and these plants do freeze. It's probably not gonna freeze enough to freeze these gourds solid. And if the end goal is the freezer anyway, or the freeze dryer anyway, it's fine if they get a little bit frosty. So I've got a couple down there, and then there's a whole bunch here. Just gonna leave them in. Oh yeah, it's almost 50 degrees in here right now, and we're totally buttoned up. And so what I probably need to do is untape one of the vents that Levi taped shut, just in case it needs to open, so that we don't cook everything in here. It's a balance. This here is the vent that is automatic. There's a special type of wax inside that cylinder there, and when it reaches a certain temperature, it triggers a spring mechanism on the inside and the vent will open. And it's hard to see it now, but there's that fan way down there that will direct warm air out and keep the temperature stable. Okay. There, now that can open if and when it needs to. I think it opens around 75 degrees. So. Good morning. So it is 26 degrees outside right now. And I think I saw the low get down to 24, which is what was forecasted. I can already feel that today is going to be a much warmer day. But let's check on the greenhouse. Even though it's 26 outside right now, the sun has been shining on the greenhouse for quite some time, so it's warm in there. Uh-oh. Nope, it's not looking good. Like even the carrots are flopped over. Now the things that are frost tolerant, like the carrots and the broccoli, this is kind of scary to see if you've not seen it before, but they're fine. They're just being dramatic. They'll be all right. These things, however, I can smell already that these are not gonna be all right. It smells like kind of a compost bin of sorts in here. So we did everything we could, but we did not get the frost tender stuff through, which is kind of upsetting because we're heating back up to a high of 75 in like 4 days. Oh, yeah, you can kind of see how translucent this leaf is. That's tromboncino. All right, so I've got these squash over here, and I've got to put these away. What'd you say, just under 25 pounds?
2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11. There's 22 pounds there.
Yeah.
Yeah, just under 25.
So that was some venison. 1/3 venison 2 days ago? No, because
not
it
even.
was a quarter of it was venison
Yeah.
from 2023 that we found in the freezer.
We'll feed this to the dog.
Alright. Oh, did you hear the cat? Okay, you enjoy
What?
that?
Can you, okay, come here.
No, yeah, see, you like it
Grab that
cooked.
chopstick for me?
You know, she wants it cooked. You're gonna have to wait.
Nope. Do it.
Oh, he's gonna run away with it. Hi, boys. Hi, where's Farrell? Where is he? There he is. I'd like to run out and do a forage check in the girl pasture today, but the boys have quite a bit. I have still been feeding hay every day. No, I think you might be fresh out of snacks, dude. Oh no, we've got some dandelion here. Here, you want this? No? Yeah, you will. You're a bottle baby. Ugh, certainly less magical in here. But as you can see, our broccoli has recovered pretty well. A little bit limp acting at the moment, but ooh, I need to harvest that one soon. That one too. It's nice. Yeah, she gone. And it looks a hot mess right now. It's because it is. I'm telling you, this is going to be easier to remove if I let it dry. So I'm gonna let it dry, and it might take a while, but that's fine. It's currently just over 80 in here, which I worried about that a little bit because we're heating right back up, and I don't really want to go through all the trouble of taping everything back down again, but I might have to let some fresh air in via the roll-up sides. Carrots are doing halfway decent. Look at that one. Oh my. It's like that thick. I'm gonna let it go a little longer. Hi, girls. Yeah, got some good rumens happening this morning. Hello, Winnie. They look pretty good. Maylay's been coughing a little. Gonna watch her. It's one of the things with these temperature fluctuations. It can be hard on not just plants and people, but animals for sure. Right now, I don't see any nasal secretions. So who knows, it could just be a dry hay situation, but we'll watch her. I noticed that our beautiful little Nix is starting to get skittish, and I couldn't figure out why, and then I reviewed the footage after editing part of this video, and she tried to go up to Levi right before he used like the impact drill to put in their new scratcher, and it scared the crap out of her. And the very next day, I noticed she was harder to catch. Well, she doesn't know what's going on. So I think that scared her a little bit. So I'm gonna be sitting down here in a little while and trying to make her friendly, but for now, I'm just not gonna push it. Oh, here she comes. I worked with her a little bit yesterday, but she's not as trusting as she was beforehand. Oh, Spunky. She's been coming around a little bit more lately. It's weird. But let's see if they'll follow us. I want to do a forage check and a fence line check down at the pond. You coming, Win? Hi, Farrell. Here come the boys. I know it's food time. I know. It doesn't really look like our ryegrass is growing back where I planted it last season. There's basically nothing green over here. Where are you going? I'm going this way. Bye. This area is where we have the most green this time of year, and there's some. It's not a lot. Okay. Guys keeping up? Little short legs. Nobody has their collars anymore. Woo! He's drinking on the go. It's always so funny to me when they nurse from behind. You might be wondering, Heather, how come your neighbors have green grass and you do not? 2 of the 4 sides of our property are managed hay fields. So this was intentionally planted and fertilized. We've got some green, but that's the difference. This tree I am worried about in the future. It has kind of slowly been falling down and it's really precarious. Hey dudes, how's it going? I did already know it, but we're definitely in full hay feeding season. There's not much out here, even though there is some that they can pick at. Oh, Christine, are you in heat again? Oh, girl. It's too nice out for how cold it was the other day. As I always do. Drop it. Where are you going?
The pond.
Okay, have fun.
Hey, Shaggy comes. Just last time. Out.
So I'm gonna sit down as I normally do, see who comes to sit in my lap, and I'll take this opportunity to answer some questions about the greenhouse and the plants in it that I think that some of you guys might have. As I said, and as I'm sure you saw, there were quite a few plants out there that did have quite a lot of fruit on them before the freeze. And I had talked about, especially with the peppers, making a last harvest, making some more hot sauce, possibly putting some in the freeze dryer. But then I went through what I've got stored already, and guys, we did not need anything more made out of peppers. We have so much variety of jalapeno things put up already that I just didn't need more. And so rather than allowing the abundance to really be more of a burden, I just changed it. I changed what it could be, and what you saw me do with the jalapenos is what I usually do with the excess plants that are in my bed, or the plants that are spent, the plants that are done, is essentially a chop and drop. I just cut the plants down. Sometimes I'll chop them up into little bits and then leave them right in the bed, and what I'll do is I'll put some barn amendment on top of that, maybe a little bit of bagged soil, and I will have to do very little actual fertilizing of that bed because of that. The beds are essentially their own kind of compost bin, and their nutrition that was in the peppers goes back into the bed and becomes something else later. And on that same note, like, I could have gotten really fussy with those tromboncinos and seeded out all of the bulb ends, or what was trying to develop as seeds. They weren't mature enough to have actual developed viable seed in them. But you can haul those out and dice those up and preserve them, just like the flesh that's in the neck of the squash. But there's a lot of that tromboncino that really isn't in the stage of development that I was hoping for. And so I can take that end that's a little bit fussy to mess with and feed it back to the animals, and it can turn into eggs. It can help supplement our pet pig Chloe so she gets less of the bagged feed, and that's a win in my book. Now, as homesteaders, we kind of aim for more circular systems like that, systems that kind of sustain themselves. And something that is sustainable doesn't need outside inputs in order to complete its cycle, in order to thrive. And really, that's the goal. I would love to be able to grow and produce things here with minimal outside inputs. I still do need some outside inputs. We have to buy the hay that our goats eat, for example. But where I can, I do like to put what's on the farm back into the farm so that we can keep the farm doing what it's doing. Here's our girl. Hi, baby. I don't necessarily want to reach for her necessarily because I don't want to scare her. But I do want her back. She's been scared of me the last 2 days. And I didn't do it. It was that big, strong man. There we go. Oh, y'all, I was nervous. I was actually this close to tears yesterday when I was telling my husband that she was starting to get skittish. Oh, but there she is. Of course, we've got Walter in the way. But Lil Nix is behind him. She's letting me pet her. Oh, you're not a problem. Neither of you two are problems. Here's my view. Sir, can we look at your sister? Oh, so good. I'm glad that was temporary. You're too much. You're too much. Spunky, have you come to figure out what's going on over here? It's a pretty cool situation. Oh, all right, okay. Oh my goodness. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, was that too much? I won't do it again. Spunky is gonna let me be a jungle gym, that's good. That's first steps into being handleable. I'm gonna come and sit down with them a little bit more later, but my battery's dying on the camera and I wanted to give you an update on the meat rabbits because many of them are due to kindle this week. Babs will go last, I'm pretty sure. I don't think Dumpling has delivered yet. Bao is the one that just had 2 and they were dead. The kids told me that Cedo delivered and she had 11 kits. 2 unfortunately had passed away, but that's pretty good. She's one of my 2023 does, so she's not old. Promptly and her babies are doing well. And Jumper had 3 kits. I think they said 3 giant kits. There's 1, 2, 3. For obvious reasons, an 11 kit litter is way better than a 2 and 3 kit litter. I'm not really sure what happened with both of these does. It could be that it was their first kindling after our summer break. I don't like to breed my rabbits over the summer because we have had a history of them dying of heat stroke when their bodies are burdened with babies as well as trying to deal with the heat here. It could be that in the past my does have been over conditioned, so being over conditioned, pregnant, and the heat, it was just a recipe for disaster. In any case, Bao over here, she's the one that had 2 babies that were dead. That was her second litter. And her first litter, she only had 3 babies. So what I like to do with my does is give them 3 strikes before they're out. Those are some pretty small litters. And if she's gonna have consistently small litters, she's not a doe that I'm gonna wanna keep in my program. So what I will probably do is rebreed her pretty soon. I do want her a week or so to rebound. Just her internal organs, I'm sure, could use it. But I'm gonna hang on to at least 1, maybe 2 does out of Cedo here to potentially replace Bao and maybe Dumpling, because Dumpling is out of Bao. Dumpling hasn't had her babies yet as far as I know, and if she's gonna have small litters like her mom, that's not something I want to keep. Dumpling is incredibly skittish. When I gave her her nest box, she like ran laps around the walls of her cage, jumped and rebounded off of my chest, and then landed on the ground. That was not good. So I'd like to pull her nest out so we can check it. You're all right, you're all right. She might be getting used to the situation. Yeah, nothing yet. Okay, I'm gonna put this back. So yeah, that's what's going on this week. It's been a very busy week and I still have things that I'd like to do. Obviously we got to process that deer. We're going to be making jerky. We're going to be doing some more ground meat with that. I did save the tallow out of the deer and I do have a tallow video in process. How to render it and a couple things that you can make with it. So look forward to that. I'll see you guys again soon.